do not just focus on numbers, focus on adding value. The more value you add, automatically you will be viral.
I realized कि retail investors are not having the knowledge, and during COVID period, savings were lifeline.
He's actually known as, I would say, the Chanakya of content creators. So I wanted to attend his sessions. Nobody is a perfect content creator in the beginning, and numbers don't define everything.
But have you faced challenges in that?
Knowing कि if I am investing, why I'm investing. So educating client was always my motive.
And it's okay to say no even to powerful people if it is a wrong, unethical deal.
Hi everyone, this is Vivek Srivastav. Welcome to my channel. And today we have a very special multiple guest episode. We have two very accomplished ladies with us today. We have with us both Brahmi Kapasi as well as Mansi Thakkar. So Brahmi is a certified NISM advisor, certified mutual fund distributor, and stock market and personal finance expert. She's also a finance content creator, and she has over 300,000 followers combined on the popular social media apps like Instagram, X, Facebook, LinkedIn. And she's passionate about educating others on personal finance, money management, stock market, investing in mutual funds, IPO investing, and insurance. So that's Brahmi, and we have also Mansi Thakkar, who is a board director at WinPlus Private Limited. She's also a keynote speaker, leadership coach, and a podcaster. She was named one of the powerful women leaders in Indian education 2023 by Knowledge Review magazine. She's a board of students member at KES Shroff College, and she has a master's in leadership sciences with specialization in Chanakya Arthashastra. So, welcome to the podcast, ladies. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us, how did you get started in content creation and just being such powerful influences?
Namaste. So myself Brahmi Kapasi, and thought of content creation came when I was into finance background. So I have already a finance background. I have done my BCom, MCom, MBA. I have tried my CA, CS, but unsuccessful in those lines. After that, I did investment banking, and post that I was into a corporate investment bank where I used to handle multiple HNI clients. Okay, and when I used to handle HNI clients, I realized there is a huge gap between your HNI world versus the retail world. So when investors come in, they HNI, if you see, they have a lakhs and crores of rupees to invest, whereas we retailers invest in hundreds and thousands of rupees. Okay, and I saw a gap during COVID period कि जो बेसिक प्रोडक्ट्स है उनके उस चीज़ के बारे में भी लोगों को नॉलेज नहीं है. आई रियलाइज कि रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स आर नॉट हैविंग द नॉलेज, एंड ड्यूरिंग कोविड पीरियड सेविंग्स वेर लाइफ लाइन. सो जस्ट लाइक we always think finance as a luxury, but I realized that finance went from luxury to your basic necessity during COVID period. And I saw people around me were literally crying because they had no emergency fund, or the instruments they have invested in, they were not aware of what kind of instruments they have invested, and due to market being bearish or market being down, they were not able to liquidate their money.
Right.
And that's the reason they were very at the very bad phase. And I realized that understanding what and where you are investing is much needed, and that's how I started my content creation journey back then in 2021. Over to Mansi.
Honestly, content creation was not a planned thing. So I love networking. I attend a lot of events. So there was this event where Big Brain was hosting with, I think, Tag Mango, and Mr. Manish Pandey was a speaker, and he's actually known as, I would say, the Chanakya of content creators. So I wanted to attend his sessions, and in that, the team of Big Brain had attended. So because they were also the co-organizers, I believe. So then in that, I met Eclipse Noah, who was the co-founder back then, and Dhwani Rajgor. And I just happened to meet them, and I told them I've done my master's degree in Chanakya Arthashastra, and I would want to try content creation. They said, okay, come next day, we'll have your screen test and everything, and it got done, and that's how my journey started. In the next 6 months, Dr. Radhakrishna Pillai, under whom I've done my master's degree, said that, Mansi, not many women podcasters are there, and since you've done Chanakya Arthashastra learnings, why don't we have, a co-hosted podcast together? So again, another opportunity. So I think universe was very kind to me, I would say, where things just got aligned, and I then went to learn how these things happen, because content creation is very sensitive, not just in terms of comments or the reactions, but you have to evolve constantly. And now I have my own podcast channel as well, and I would want to explore different platforms, because now I'm camera confident and I know how the platforms demand what kind of content there has to be. So I think it has been a very great journey, and things have got very smoothly, I would say.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, in the beginning, when you started, you had less number of followers,
Yeah.
and now, of course, you have 300,000 and very large numbers. But tell me a little bit about the journey. What did you do in the beginning? The initial frustrations. How did you grow to such impressive numbers?
So about me, so when I started, I am very camera friendly, okay? So I already had my DSLR and everything. So I was like, I used to be a person who is behind the camera. But at front of camera, I used to be shy, because obviously, okay, the look matters, and the way of speaking matters and everything. So when I started, I was like, okay, I don't know how this will work, but let's start it. So I think the key was key to start. So I then made my mind that okay, let's start it, no matter how the numbers would be. Because see, and Instagram, where I started, Instagram is an entertainment platform, and I am someone who is teaching, going to teach you, or going to make videos on finance related thing, which is very serious thing. Okay, because I understand everyone is earning money, but we are not able to manage that money. I believe that when I started, the whole point was ki, yes, I have to bridge the gap between retail investors versus the HNI clients, versus knowing ki if I am investing, why I am investing. So educating client was always my motive. So when I started, I know I was very conscious about the cameras, in front of cameras. Behind the camera, obviously, I am a very confident person. But when it comes to in front of camera, I was very shy, and I was like, okay, how would my journey would be and everything. But I started posting for 15 days in a line, because I used to be I'm still a big believer of consistency. So I believe that consistency works in the long run. Okay. So when I started, I was like, okay, I have to give at least 1 month, 2 months, and then decide if this will work or not. So even in corporate times, I know I have been a consistent player in my corporate journey as well. So when I started my content creation, I just was like, okay, let's start. So I actually wrote all the scripts in notebook. Like I just wrote 200 pages mein scripts, all the scripts one by one. And literally, if you have seen movies mein scenarios hote hain na, you just don't like the script, you just crumble it and you throw it away. I used to be that person. So first 6 months of content creation, I just never gave up कि नहीं करना है. One month after another month, I made my mind कि नहीं करना है. And after 6 months, yes, my reel started going viral and reaching right audience, reaching everything. So I believe one of the thing when you start is, yes, starting is very important. If you don't start,
Right.
you are never going to be successful. So I think one of the thing to content creation is start your journey, and second thing is maintain consistency. आज नहीं तो कल आपको वो सक्सेस दिखेगी, नंबर्स दिखेंगे. Just be consistent and provide value. ऐसा नहीं है that randomly you are putting any shitty things on Instagram or any of the platform, or and it works, but it won't have you the value. Okay, so I think creating a value and having numbers are two different things. But if you can manage both the things, it is excellent for anyone who is a content creator.
Wonderful.
I'm yet to come up to that benchmark, I would say. So what I'm doing is, I'm going and learning from the experts to understand how each platform is working. And initially, I started with motivation. Then I came to leadership. Then I shifted to podcast. What I'm doing is I'm also trying to put behind the scenes. I get a lot of keynote invites and panel discussion invites. So I'm trying to experiment. And I've realized one thing in content creation: the more you experiment, the better you learn. So I'm still trying to figure out, and I want to tell this to your audience through the podcast, that it is okay to experiment. Nobody is a perfect content creator in the beginning, but do not just focus on numbers, focus on adding value. The more value you add, automatically you will be viral.
Do you have any challenges or tips on being both a board director at a company and podcasting?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what happens is, you have to have your responsibilities. They say that with power comes responsibility, right? So, when you're on board, you also have to see all the dynamics, all the pros and cons. Being a podcaster, I want to do my personal branding, but I also ensure there is no conflict of interest, and I maintain my transparency so that entire team knows that, okay, I'm doing my podcasting for building my own personal brand, and I'm not using any of the company's resources. So I think, when you are clear, when you are transparent, and when there is authenticity, I think it goes a long way. But yes, the challenge is sometimes the meetings are getting clashed, travel dates get clashed, and that's okay. I think it's very normal. But when you plan things prior, I think it's good to go, and you should have an understanding team as well. So it's both the ways. But I believe in transparency. I don't hide things, and I don't use the company's resources for my even for my learning or even for podcasting, unless it's the company's podcast. It's a different thing. But for my own podcasting, everything is on my own. Yeah.
So make sure that they're separate. And,
Yes, they're separate.
You don't.
Yes. You should not misuse your power position. And anyway, if you want, the company will, support you. But it's not right. It's not ethical, right? Unless it's for the company that you're doing. Here you're building your personal brand. So that is how it is.
Could you talk about any obstacles, challenges you faced in your journey, not just in social media and your channels, but also professionally? Any advice you have for the viewers?
I think in a way where everything is at a quicker thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Back then, when our parents or grandparents used to live, I think it was very smooth process. कि okay, सुबह उठना है, खाना खाना है, 9 to 5 जॉब करनी है, and then or business करना है, and then we are back to our. But nowadays there is no particular schedule because everyone wants to hustle. So on social media or anywhere you see, hustle is the new thing, and everyone is behind hustle. They are not able to understand कि is that thing for me or not. So I would say, be it a corporate journey or be it a content creation or be it your business, anything will suit you if you are having a right mindset. Okay, and just because you're a corporate person doesn't mean कि you should be going into business because everyone is doing it. Think of a perspective that okay, is that right fit for me? Just because everyone around is doing everything doesn't mean I have to do everything. Whatever suits me, I have to do that. And talking about the challenges, yes, I think we cannot go upstairs without facing any challenges. Everyone, be it CXO level, be it content creators, be it YouTubers or any business person, everyone is having some of the other challenges. Talking about my challenges, when I shifted from my corporate life to content creation, at times because you went from a regular income to a income wherein you don't know a business income, I can say. Okay, and business, some days it would be a very profitable one, and some days it would be a very challenging thing. So at starting, when I faced this, I was like, ki, okay, I have to grind on this, I have to work on this. So one thing I learned from this is, whenever you shift from one thing to another thing, make sure you have your emergency fund aside for at least next 12 months to survive. Without that, don't shift from corporate to business or business to corporate. Okay, so any transition, make sure you have your emergency fund aside so that you can cater next 12 months, so that you know how to survive. So basic necessity is your food, shelter and clothing. You cannot compromise on these things. Okay, and I would add your family as well. Okay, family is one of the major thing in your basic needs. So you cannot say कि okay, I will enjoy my everything and my family is not having food for their on their plate. So I think we have to take care around people around us because we live with them. And so one of the challenge I faced is this, that yes, emergency fund should be there, and you cannot move and transit from one business to another or from corporate to business just like that.
Right.
And one more challenge I faced was because I'm a content creator, I see a lot of negativity is there in market. Okay, and यार लोग सच में कुछ ना कुछ बोलते रहेंगे. And I believe respect everyone until they are not disrespecting you. Once they start disrespecting you, saying bad words, saying things that shouldn't be said, if they are doing that, obviously you have to be blunt, you have to back slash them. Okay, so I think knowing and respecting everyone is good, but don't allow anyone to disrespect you. At once you might ignore the disrespects and everything, but it's happening again and again, then you have to be very blunt and be on their face. So that's the challenges you are when you are a content creator.
Great. Mansi?
So for me, it has been a diverse journey because I have multiple roles to play. So as a board of director, the very first challenge that I got from the other companies was that they're going to send you papers just for signing, and you won't be a part of the board meetings. And whatever is the amount you want, you can just quote. And that time I realized that why is it that as a woman director you're only supposed to be for signing purpose, and that should not be the case. So a lot of times I realize that okay, maybe because of age or because of experience, people might underestimate you. But if you are clear on your terms, nobody can then beat you. In the sense, I'm very clear. No matter what big amount they're going to throw or whatever bribe they are giving or greed to be specific they are giving, I'm not going to be there for signing purpose. And you might lose your friendships, you might lose that relationship, you might lose that kind of bond. But if the people know your character, they will not judge you by the negativity spread by others. Like she correctly said, market has a lot of negativity because you don't have that association as per their terms. They would talk bad about you. They would not let you grow. But then that is the reason, we say build your personal brand, have your character in place, because you can train a person by skills, but you can't train a person by character. And it's okay to say no even to powerful people if it is a wrong, unethical deal. So for me, that was one of the major challenge. But that also inspired me to develop myself and be a qualified independent director, because I realized in India, the companies are paying penalty, but they don't have right, directors in place. Independent directors or women directors, I would say. So why not to develop yourself? And second of all, so I've done my master's degree in Chanakya Niti and Chanakya Arthashastra, right? Not everybody wants to learn that. Now, I'm not blaming them, but maybe there is lack of awareness. Maybe they don't need that knowledge at that point of time. So 4 years ago, when I just got, graduated from this course, I thought I would teach this to everybody, whoever is in my corporate connects. And then I realized, no, maybe somebody wants social media, maybe somebody wants leadership training, maybe somebody has mindset problem. So sometimes when we are confident of what we are building, unless you don't do research, do not go ahead with that. I remember Ankur Warikoo, when I met him at one of the Penguin events, he told me a very good thing that don't build what you want. Build what needs to be sold and build what they want. So I realized, okay, initially you're confident of what you're building, but that might not be the selling point. You have to do what the audience wants. So I think these are the two major challenges as a board director and also as a creator.
Right. You mentioned being a woman board director. And
Yeah.
You also, personally, I think it's wonderful that ladies are doing so well and doing such impressive work. But have you faced challenges in that? And then also, what are the differences that, say, a male social media content creator versus female? So, what challenges you faced, and also what are the sort of tactics a woman might use, or a pathway, I should say, or a route that a woman would do as opposed to a man in terms of social media, growing your network, and all of that?
Okay, when you keep your perspective on your videos or anywhere else, I think one of the common thing on social media is there is one comment known as women tea. So even if you put your own perspective about anything, they will start posting, commenting women tea.
What does that even mean?
Women tea means they are just a fool. Like women are fool. They don't know anything. They are just
tea. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that is very trending thing on Instagram. But I generally ignore, because people who understand what I am saying will always be the support of me, in support of me. But people who don't don't understand the background, or maybe are not aware of the things, they will just comment anything. So one of the this is very funny because and I think women also face this challenge because I go to multiple networking events, I go to various events and all when I'm traveling, and in finance, particularly finance में ज़्यादा लड़कियां नहीं हैं, okay, and I have seen when I go to events and all, not many women are there with me. So I usually be around most of the male creators around me, and they are very good, obviously. But I see that women are not there. They are not coming to events. They are not networking with people, and either obviously they could have the restrictions from family, or maybe they do not have the interest. I can see only these two options because they are not coming, or any of the medical emergency is obviously the case. But I think they should step in and come in and talk, because if you don't talk about yourself, if you don't say, then obviously you cannot build your personal brand or the name. Okay. Now today, when I go to certain places, even in Mumbai or out of Mumbai or anywhere, I see yes, people are able to recognize me. Yes, she is Brahmi Kapasi. Why? Because I am there. I am not just on YouTube or Instagram, but I keep on traveling. Okay, and I go to multiple networking events and all. So people recognize me as a person, as a personal brand. They know me. So make sure all the women creators, make sure that you come up to stage, you speak about yourself, you speak about what they do, and once you do that, you are good to go with your personal branding. So if you show जो दिखता है वही बिकता है is the thing. So once you show your face, once you show, keep on coming on platforms, different events, then only you can grow. I think that's the thing.
There's a very nice quote which says that, seek to be worth knowing rather than be well known. And in the boardrooms, it's very challenging because there are diverse, experienced people in age, education, the companies that they've, been on board as well. So for me, the first challenge is that, the age and the experience. And most important that I face is the acceptance of the ideas. And I realize that if you don't have the right mindset, the people will not believe you. Of course, there are discussions happening in the boardrooms as well, but you have to prove yourself. For example, if you see my visiting card, it says Director Training and Social Media. Now, I prefer organic social media growth. Even if it takes time, it's okay for me. But then I won't want to experiment that side as well. So, for me to grow a particular LinkedIn or particular Instagram or to build the personal brand of the MD, I will need time. It's not an overnight thing, right? And I was very much prepared that for a year or two, till I don't dedicate my time, till I don't, involve the strategies, nothing is going to happen. And sometimes you have to keep quiet and let your work speak for you. They say, right, action speaks louder than words. That's what I did.
Absolutely.
Because initially, all your ideas will be rejected. You will be looked down upon. You will not be inclusive. It's very easy to say inclusive leadership in boardrooms, but I'm sorry, in India, that's not the case majorly. You have to prove yourself every now and then. And I've realized one more thing, a very interesting experience, I would say. While discussing in the boardrooms, I also have started adapting masculine energies. Now, what do I mean by that? Say maybe 4 directors and 1 women director. Example, fine. There are challenges. You have to prove yourself every now and then. So how do you do that? You let your actions speak louder than words. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm building my personal brand. I'm also fulfilling my commitments. And at the same time, I'm ensuring that I'm evolving as well. Because if I don't evolve, I will not be relevant. And people are waiting to replace you in the boardroom. Not just in the boardroom, even in content creation, even in other respectable roles, right? So if you are not relevant, if you are not aware, and if you are emotionally unstable, I'm sorry, you will be replaced very easily. It's very easy to, get carried away and take impulsive decisions. In the boardrooms, you can't take impulsive decisions. You have to be very, very mindful. And I think I'm grateful for this opportunity because at a very young age, I'm learning all these things. And it's not easy, but it's not even going to be an easy cakewalk in future.
Right. You were saying your title is Director of Training and Social Media.
Yes.
So, could you expand on what you do in that particular role?
First of all, I would want to acknowledge the managing director, Dr. Karuna Murthy. So we were classmates in the master's degree and we were project partners. So for 2 years, we've done projects together. and he just said one thing that I would want to inculcate training vertical in Win Plus, and he said that non-technical trainings are very rare. So can we incorporate leadership? Can we incorporate something very different? So we are very rigid learners, or I would say we are avid readers also. So for us, it was like we don't want to just grow alone. Let even the company grow. Let the team grow as well. So every Tuesday we have trainings where I myself deliver trainings to all the employees. Now everybody scattered across India. So via Zoom we meet. I also travel to Coimbatore headquarters where I train, give them live sessions. I also call my friends who are trainers or who are experts.
What type of training do you give?
Leadership training, soft skill training, public speaking. Nowadays, even your team members are becoming a personal brand, right? So you can train them on the relevant topics. That's what we do. And soft skills is something which is a must. The relevant skills, example, LinkedIn sessions,
Right.
or a lot of people are afraid to talk to even the clients. So you help them or develop
Right.
that confidence. Basic things. Technical, they are excellent, but non-technical is something which will balance their professional growth as well. That is how it started. And then I realized that not everybody wants to learn Chanakya. What will I do? How do I stay relevant? There comes social media. So then I helped the founders, build their personal brand. And I started with the managing director of WinPlus, that I'm helping him with his LinkedIn, his personal branding. He's also an author now because I've done my courses on how to write a book as well. So across personal branding, I know the basics, and I wanted to prove with the proof of concept. So I started with WinPlus, and now I'm also guiding a lot of other founders on how they can build their personal brand. And for that, I myself am going to a lot of keynotes organically, a lot of panel discussions, a lot of podcasts. Because if I'm teaching you something, I prefer to preach it before I teach it.
Absolutely.
So because that will build your trust, right? That because you've done it, and I've given you the result. I'm not just teaching you by just taking a certification. I'm practicing it, implementing it. I'm giving the results, and that is being seen online as well. So this is what my role currently in Wind Plus is, and very soon I'm also learning Wind because, like I said,
Right.
I want to add more value.
Clean energy.
Yes. So I don't want to be a namesake director. It will take time. Wind is a complete technical subject. It will take time, but I'm very determined that I will be learning it step by step.
So talking about social media, so there's all these different channels, right? There's
Yes.
Facebook, which
Yes.
is, completely different style. It's for the older generation, boomers probably, I would say. And there's Instagram, which is more for the Gen Xers, Gen Zers, and so on. And then Twitter or X, which is a whole different beast in and of itself. And LinkedIn, of course, for professionals. So could we talk about exactly these characteristics, like which is what should someone who's trying to grow their social media presence, whether they're individual or even a company, so it's two different areas, what to do, how to grow maybe on each channel, and what's the pathway to take, in this channel you do this and this, in that channel you do that and that. Since you're both such experts in these things, can you please help us out a little bit there?
So see, when we talk about YouTube, so YouTube has a very, I would say, a particular audience, because there we search something and then we see that. For example, if I want to learn, say, something on Chanakya Niti, okay, I would not go on Instagram and find Chanakya Niti. What I will do, I will go on YouTube and whatever the relevant topic is, and I will search that. So YouTube is more search based. So if you are a very a person who is doing a very informative kind of thing, like finance or maybe Chanakya Niti, or maybe your tech person, then go and prefer YouTube and LinkedIn, because through LinkedIn you are building professional connects, and through YouTube you are obviously giving a detailed version of yourself. But during COVID period, I realized it is not just about having your presence on one platform. So this doesn't mean that you will be stick to YouTube, but your first priority should be your YouTube. If you are doing informative kind of videos, if you are doing infotainment, I mean, if you are trying to explain a finance concept with some experiments and some of the funny things, like instead of saying buy now pay later, you are saying buy now cry later, or anything like that. So if you're trying to create and engage with this Gen Z audience and creating infotainment videos, then Instagram is more preferred. Okay, so if you're good at speaking continuously for say 1 hour and so on, you can go with YouTube. But if you are very short and you are want to explain anything or just create infotainment or entertainment video, Instagram is the platform for you. But again, that doesn't mean that you are not exploring other platforms. Okay, you have to be present on every platform, but make sure you have a priority set. For
Right.
me, it's because I'm more into infotainment, and now I will also be making more YouTube videos. So first two priority from Instagram, I'm shifting to YouTube as well. Okay, and LinkedIn obviously should be your priority because it is totally a professional world
Right.
where you connect with CXO levels and upper management and everyone. Okay, and people get learnings from you. So I believe LinkedIn people think ki it's very professional. We should be using it very professional language and this thing. But I am writing blogs on LinkedIn since now almost 1.5 year, having almost 31,000 followers on LinkedIn as well. I think over all the social media platform, one of the common thing is get connected with your audience. Know how you can emotionally or in any which ways you can connect with your audience. Okay, so if you know how can I connect, so for example, I see most of the home page on LinkedIn has only English language, but I broke that and I said no, I will create in such a way so that people can understand. So I started making such blogs wherein I can actually relate to the audience. So I started with Hindi language, Hindi English language, and then obviously the content is in English, and that keeps on going viral. So I understand. Yes, many people are able to understand that, and they are able to connect it emotionally as well. So when you hook it up correctly on Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn anywhere, it is going to go a huge number and massive number. So I think I won't be biased saying that go with YouTube or Instagram or any other platform. I would say LinkedIn is obviously a professional network. You can create a good network, and other medias like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all. Depending what kind of content you're making, if you are making long format, obviously YouTube. If you are having a specific format like a finance and all, YouTube for you. If you are doing infotainment, entertainment and all, then obviously all your Instagram and Facebook. And Facebook also, I believe I am not a much user of Facebook, but I see people who is around 30 to 50 years are mostly using Facebook. So I think then if your audience is that kind of, you can use Facebook as your main. But if you also sell products, then for running ads and everything, you need Facebook account. So as I said, it is not just one particular platform. You have to be present on all, but make sure you have one basic thing known for you that okay, this is my thing, and this is first priority for me. So for me, it's Instagram first priority. For someone else, it could be YouTube, or for someone else, it could be Facebook.
How to grow maybe on each channel, and what's the pathway to take? In this channel you do this, this, and this. In that channel you do that, that, and that. Since you're both such experts in these things, can you please help us out a little bit there?
So for me, I think it's LinkedIn because being a director or being a podcaster, I would want to experiment LinkedIn first. Or Instagram, I'm still figuring out. And for YouTube, I've just started my podcast on YouTube, so I'm learning, I would say. So it's very early to judge on the platform, but I think what she correctly said was consistency.
Right.
And most important, every platform has different demand. So example, what I'm posting on Instagram might not work on LinkedIn. But I can have a combination of two platforms. Example, YouTube and LinkedIn or Instagram and LinkedIn. It depends on the profession. So for me, specifically coming into leadership and podcasting, I think LinkedIn and YouTube are my primary. And for Instagram, I'm yet to figure out what exactly my audience wants. Yes.
So how about a company? For example, WinPlus.
Yeah.
So what you described just now, okay, YouTube and LinkedIn
Yes.
for you as Mansi Thakkar.
Yeah.
But what about WinPlus? Same thing, or should they be also on a different platform? Or?
So we don't want to be jack of all and master of none.
Hmm.
And I would want to, add value to at least one platform first. So we are doing something very different. Like what my advice was to them, do not, post the same content on each platform. Let's focus on building one platform first.
Okay.
LinkedIn is a primary
So
one.
whether you're a person or company, one
Yes, one platform.
at a time.
Give your best.
Yeah.
Same time you're posting at the same frequency you're posting, and probably you're adding value always. Why? Because that's also our tagline, and most importantly, everybody should just say that okay, this is something new that we are seeing. It's not just the festival post. Initially we did post festival post as well, and then I realized that no, it's the same. So can we do something different? So behind the scenes, some kind of contracts that we are signing, some kind of achievements, or some kind of events that we attend together as a team. So you're showing the company culture, you're showing the psychology of the company, you're also showing how to relate with the people as well. So it's not just the basic festival post. I'm not saying don't put festival post, you should, but not only festival post, there has to be variety, there has to be value addition to it, right? And if you are building a company page, the founder's personal brand or the co-founder's personal brand has to be there as well. Correct? I always, tell people that it is the personality and not the purse.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much you're earning, but if people are not able to connect with you, relate to you, how does it matter? But can you tell the journey? Can you show your challenges? Can you explain, oh, this is what I have faced and this is how I overcame, or I'm overcoming this way? I think people will connect more comparatively when you will just talk about numbers.
Right.
It's very easy to impress people by numbers, but do not show it as an overnight success. It will give you a very momentum or a very temporary fame, I would say, and that does not last. And I've seen a lot of people, they have a very different personality on LinkedIn, but when you meet them in person, oh my God, the level of arrogance.
Right.
And for me, being a leadership student, I never call myself a leadership expert. I'm a leadership student, I would say. I mean, leadership is permanent. Leaders are not permanent, right? So when you meet somebody and they're not humble enough to talk to you, and if they are so arrogant, it's a big disconnect. It's a big red flag, I would say. So even for the companies, for the pages to grow, if you're not posting what the company is doing apart from the festival post, it's a big red flag.
Right.
It will not help.
Right.
That's why I always say, like, discuss before you decide. It's okay to seek help. Even if you're a very big company, take advice.
Yeah, and 20 years ago that was the case. Like
Yes.
you, CEO of a company, you didn't even know. You just looked at the numbers of the company.
Yes.
IBM, 30
Yes.
years ago, okay, it's $1 billion company, whatever,
Yes.
whatever. You didn't know who the CEO was.
Yes.
Now it's all about how much he posts on the social medias and all of that.
Yes.
And Elon Musk just bought Twitter. So, I mean, he did the ultimate move.
Even if you
So-
go for some networking events, today,
Yeah.
of course we still exchange visiting cards.
Yeah.
But don't we add each other on LinkedIn?
Absolutely.
Don't we, check the person? Okay, in case if I'm going for a speaking event, I will first go and check who's the co-speaker. And it is so interesting that in all business events, be it board of director
Right.
events or the corporate events, everybody has social media presence, specifically LinkedIn.
And what you were saying earlier, that the personality matters now.
Yes.
30 years ago, we couldn't care less what his
Yes.
personality was,
Yes.
as long as it was $1 billion
Yes.
company and my stock went up. But now, right?
Yes,
Now-
true, 100%.
Now it's all about how much he posts and what his personality is like, or at least his projected personality. As you said, in real life he may be completely different, but
Yes.
I would not name anybody because I attend a lot of events. So, you see their recent post. And when you go and tell them, oh, I read this post of yours, and they're like, which post? He's not aware about it.
some
Somebody's
secretary of
manager-
his did it.
That's okay, but how are you not aware about the recent post? Can't you just take 5 minutes and check your post?
Right. You should at least be aware of your.
Yes, and if that is the case, do you think people would connect with you on LinkedIn? No. I'm not saying you manage your own profile. That's your personal choice.
Right.
And not everybody has time to do that. But are you not aware of what is being posted on your page as well or your own profile? Because in networking, you would always want to find the common grounds to connect and discuss, right?
Right.
And
Right.
content is something, initially people used to talk about cricket and movies and all.
Right.
Now you want to talk about the thoughts, the perceptions.
Right.
But the people are not aware about that. So it was very fascinating and new for me as well that, oh, this is also the case. But again, new lesson, I would say.
When we talk about social media, yes, it's good to build a personal brand. Obviously, because when companies come in and obviously if CXOs don't have their personal branding or not present on LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube or anywhere, then it's a disconnect in today's world. But I also feel that don't just post your success story. You have to mention how you're cracking that.
Yes.
You have to show that, okay,
The
I
journey.
might have, for example, if I am planning for any corporate event wherein I am the guest speaker, it's okay. Yes, 4 times I am a guest speaker. I have been very best at it. I have done my best. But one time, obviously, in everyone's life, one time it would be there कि I am not able to present it very well, or it did not went as per my planning. So we also have to show that negative side, because what happens, because talk about Instagram and YouTube and all these shorts or Instagram reels, who is consuming the 20 to 30s k low? They are consuming the data, okay? And I think when we are just posting social media and success overnight stories and all, they are getting it in a wrong way. So they are getting it impacted कि यार ये 20 साल के लड़के ने इतना कर दिया, that 25-year-old is a millionaire now. So people are judging ki if he can be a millionaire, why I am not a millionaire? And then that inside thoughts keeps on coming, and stress, depression, and suicidal thoughts comes in. So I think majorly because social media is now a major reason for suicides, right?
Yes.
So I think being mindful and knowing that not just posting good things, but also posting your journey, and sometimes posting your yes, okay, I was not at good mindset and I did not prepare it well, and actually giving out your own real story is what I think is a content creation all about. Or maybe for anyone who wants to build their personal brand, don't just show the success story.
Yes.
Show how you're building it, show how you're growing it, and it's okay to show failures also.
Absolutely. Like basically the journey.
Yeah,
The
basically
ups
the
and the
journey.
downs of the journey.
Yes.
That comes under the strategy of the how you grow your social media channels. Could we talk a little bit about that? Because I myself, in doing my YouTube channel, have found that look, I started it as almost an experiment, just and I discovered I really enjoy this podcasting,
Nice.
this interaction, talking with people, and so I decided to keep at it. And I discovered as I've grown this that okay, my initial strategy was all wrong, right? So, and I'm taking corrective action and all of that. So, and that's the interesting thing because for each of these major channels, Facebook, they all have different strategies that you need to follow. You can't have the same strategy for each one. So, what would you suggest if you could help us a little bit on that? Which channel, what strategy works better on which channel, and what kind of thing you should look out for?
Okay.
What
I
to
think,
avoid even. So,
I think there is no all-in-one size that fits everything.
Right.
Okay, there is no such approach. For every niche and every person having a different mindset, different stories to tell, everyone has different thing to post and to publish. Okay, so I think every platform has its own way of presentation, and we need to maintain that. For example, if YouTube is providing you long format shorts and obviously the posting, use all. Depending on what kind of information YouTube is providing, use everything. Same for Instagram stories. Just because post kar rahe, that is not going to work. Give out actual meaningful thing. So your content should be connectable and shareable. So connect करने चाहिए लोग आपसे कि okay, why this is relevant. So if you see most of the time entertainment thing or dancing videos or jokes and everything is viral. Why? Because yeah, people are able to laugh. People are able to हाँ ये मेरे साथ भी हो रहा है. So in that sense, if you're creating content, then obviously you will get that reach or numbers or whatever you are looking for. So I believe for everyone the strategy is different. But one thing you can make sure is be consistent and provide value. If you are providing right value to right audience and being consistent, that's it for all the platforms. Obviously strategies different होगी, सबके लिए different होगी. कोई reels post करना prefer करेगा, someone would prefer having YouTube long, someone would prefer no, I don't want to be at camera, in front of camera, so I would prefer LinkedIn blogs or writing stories, writing on stories. But be consistent. Whatever
Right.
you do, be consistent and provide real value.
I would add be consistent, but also make course corrections.
Yes.
Because if you're just consistently being wrong, then that won't.
Obviously, right.
Also, that is why I would suggest, apart from being consistent, have an expert on board
Yeah.
or an advisor who can, build strategies for you, who has exclusive that platform specialization.
Uh-huh.
Because, like I said, we always ask before executing any strategy, any kind of experiment. Because you're building a personal brand,
Right.
you can't take that for granted.
But someone starting out may not be able to afford that. These experts are not
Yes,
cheap.
yes.
So, which brings us to a very important point in all of this, the financials, right?
Yes.
So, obviously, if you do well, you
Yes.
get compensated
Yes.
from
Yes.
YouTube, Insta, all of them really.
Yes.
I don't think LinkedIn compensates you, right? But
No, there are different ways, I'll have two answers for this, first of all.
sure.
If you can't afford a strategist,
Huh.
can you go through all the podcasts which are available in Hindi, English, or whatever language,
Right.
There's so much to learn even in the basic. Apart from that, there are courses available online. Basic course, can you afford that? Of course, yes. So first, if you don't want to spend, watch podcast. Second is the courses. And then when you gradually build, you can have a strategist who can give you an hourly based consultation.
Okay.
But at least seek expert advice. And second of all, for LinkedIn, I have realized one thing in LinkedIn, the number of followers matter, but not so much. In the sense how? I have, say, on record right now, close to 4,800 followers. I still get paid invites, paid keynotes,
Right.
consultations.
It's an indirect.
Indirect, yes. So I realized one thing is, people don't judge by number of followers, but the kind of value you're providing. So example, if I'm putting one video every Tuesday, let's take an example. Now my audience is trained that every Tuesday this one video is going to be there. Okay, now the pattern is set in terms of leadership, in terms of business. So I'm not talking about myself. It's about the learning or the guest on the show. Second of all, if I'm going as a keynote speaker, I will never post only the photo. If you see any of my post descriptions, I will ensure I will add what all I have taught or what all I have spoken in the session as well. A lot of people, what they do is they just put a photo saying that, oh, we were speaker or we were as a guest over here. What did you do in that? Because people are reading the content you're posting. And then you get more speaking invites. So even when you have to showcase your work, there's a strategy behind it.
Right.
And then when people say, oh, this is the topic I need, or this is the topic we actually want training for, or we want to seek help, they'll contact you. They'll send you a DM. We connected on LinkedIn,
Yes.
right? You and I connected on LinkedIn, correct? This is how it happened. Did you judge me on the number of followers? No. If that was the case, today I would not have been doing this podcast with you, right?
No, I think I would have invited you anyway, just because of all your achievements and impressive resume. But yeah, so okay, that's good advice that you get expert advice and you can even learn yourself
Yes.
and all of that. But eventually, how can you speak more about monetization? Like how to maximize monetization? Is it just a direct correlation number of users, like especially say on Insta? So if someone's got 100,000 users, they're getting X amount of money, and if they have 200,000 users, does it a direct correlation that it's going to be 2x?
So I believe there is no such correlation between your followers versus the payment you receive from any brand deals or any events or something. Because if you understand this, followers can be bought. So there are fake followers in the world and on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can actually buy followers, you can buy likes, shares, comments and everything. But that won't add value. So I know some pages which are over 400k, 500k on Instagram. But if you see, they don't have engagement. So your payments and your everything matters on your engagement. And engagement comes when you actually people are able to connect with you, able to understand what you are providing, and they are sharing or liking or commenting on your post. So I think more than number of followers, what matters is number of engagement. So once you have very engaging videos, people are sharing it and doing everything, then obviously the average size grows, and based on that you receive your payments through whatever the brand deals, events, networking events and all. So it's never the follower numbers, just the followers number. No. So as I told you, there are many pages over 400k and all, but they don't have any good engagement.
So is that true for all the social media channels, Facebook,
Yes,
X,
yes, all of them.
engagement?
All of them.
Yes,
Engagement
yes.
is the key.
Engagement is the key. You have to
Okay,
be. That's the thing. Na? If you provide value, obviously people are going to share your content. But if you are not just bullshitting anything and
Well, not just share, so but when you say engagement, I think like comments, and then you reply to the comments, and
Yeah.
sort of conversations
Yeah.
going
Yes,
on,
commenting,
and discussion.
sharing, liking the content.
they are saving your post or reel and everything. That's
Right.
basically the overall engagement and interaction from the audience.
For LinkedIn, like I said, if I'm going for a keynote event or a panel discussion, you post the learnings. You also show the snippets or even the glimpses. I would say for the next 2 years, LinkedIn will have videos grow. So focus more on the videos, focus more on the podcast videos if you're a podcaster, or if you're going as a guest on the podcast, that's going to work great. And the more authority is seen through your content, be it text post, be it video post. I myself, I love putting videos on LinkedIn specifically. I might be more conscious when it comes to Instagram or YouTube because that's technically new for me.
Right.
But for LinkedIn, it's very very different because I think the connections are known over there as well, and it helps. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Is there such a thing as getting funding for? So if you, grow your channel to say 100,000 followers, whatever, you can go to some sort of investor type, get money, and then use that money to grow it from 100,000 to 1 million followers. Is that a thing?
I have not experienced that as of now.
I don't think there is such thing.
Oh, really? Okay. I would imagine that that's something investors might want to get into, given how big social media is nowadays and how much money is going back and forth in all of it.
I think they would want to do their branding, if I'm
Own
not wrong.
branding,
Yeah,
rather
own
than-
branding. But I've not heard about this.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
So, also, could you either of you expand on using it? You already touched on it, which was because of LinkedIn, you
Yes.
get invited to
Yes.
speaking sessions,
Yes.
keynotes,
Yes.
etc., etc. What can someone do to? And I specifically want to do that as well. I want to start moving forward in those kind of participating in those kind of speaking sessions, panel discussions, etc. At other
Yes.
people's podcasts or even
Yes.
at events, universities, whatever. What would I do to do that? Obviously grow the channel, but other than that,
I think 3 major things that I literally follow, rigorously follow. The very first thing, hardcore networking. Second of all, I read a lot. I don't repeat my content when it is podcast or even for keynotes or even for panel discussions. And third and most important, there's a term in networking when we say it's give and take. For me, it's more about giving. I think the more value you add in somebody's life, I think it's very beautiful because you never know what kind of connections then go on again and again. The dots are connected. So networking, learning, and again giving more value. It can be in terms of knowledge. It can be in terms of advice. A lot of times when people DM you on LinkedIn, do not be rigid by saying that, okay, come on a consultation call, I will just guide you then. Of course, if it's a detailed discussion, I understand. But if it's a basic question, can't you just spare a minute and answer to them? Because you never know, one right advice builds that great authority. And we have this very bad habit of judging people by designation. We go
Yes.
to the profile, we check the designation, we just check, oh, how many followers? Oh, this is the designation, oh, this is the company, okay, I'll take it later or I'll reply later. Don't do that.
yes,
The person might be at a very nominal role today.
yes,
The person might grow massive tomorrow. And people never forget how you make them feel. People never forget that you stood by them when the journey was in the struggling phase or when no one believed in them. So don't have that biasness that, okay, I am going to be partial. No. And if you don't network, people will not know you. And please don't be very greedy. I've seen a lot of people, randomly texting you because
Right.
they've seen you growing. Example, recently, I would not take any names. So I post all my keynotes after I'm done the keynote. Example, the event is done, I'll go and post the behind the scenes or the photographs. And I see people texting me that, hey, can you help me with more connections and this, that. The same people do not even have the time to wish me on the birthday.
right.
Or,
But they're trying to ride your coattails as
yeah, I'm
you're
not trying
succeeding,
to be.
so they
Yeah,
wanna.
I'm not trying to be a narcissist today. Let me clear. Okay, but if you're not in contact, if you're out of sight, out of mind, how do you expect me to help you out over there? Correct? And when I know that even my post is appearing in front of you, you don't even like my post.
Right.
Forget these are small things. I'm not saying like the post or whatever it is, but your small gestures. Out of nowhere, you just come up and you just say that, oh, even I want such things, just give my profile.
So
I'm
you
not
are
doing
just
that.
basically asking for favors, but not building any
No,
real connections.
no connection is built prior, and you're just asking for favors, like she correctly said, and there is no bond. And trust me, I'm a person like if I have a bond with any of my friends or something, I'll do everything for them. Like for me, it's about growing together. I would not act selfish. That's not even my nature. And for such people who act selfish, I know how to answer them. I politely just smile. I don't reply. I just smile.
Okay.
Sometimes, even by not saying something, you're saying a lot,
Yes.
right? So silence speaks volumes. And then they realize, okay, for the next 2 days, then they will like the post. Of course, now you have green heart on WhatsApp, so you will see them because that's completely visible that okay, the person has liked. These are all tactics. Don't use that. Networking, when you use tactics in relationships, I think you're a loser. You're the biggest failure, I would say.
This is good. This is good. Please expand more. So, what is what you're describing is the real authentic way to
Exactly.
network.
Exactly.
So what would that be? I mean, giving authentic likes when you actually like the post, writing comments when you actually mean them, or
Just by supporting somebody will
Right.
not lessen your value. A lot of times we want to be silent supporters.
Right.
How?
well, in social media that is.
Yes, I mean when people call you just to get
Right.
something out of you, they'll appreciate you saying, "Oh, you're doing amazing. We see your post. Your growth is massive." How do you know all this? Oh yes, because we are watching your post. Oh, and then I have to tell them, "I've never seen you like or comment." Oh no. So many posts are there, and we are not active on social media. Okay, you're telling me that you have found my growth on social media, and on the other hand, you're telling me I'm not active on social. I mean, the person is
Right.
not active on social media. Are you out of your mind?
There's a disconnect there.
Disconnect there.
Right?
Yeah.
This is how people do. Okay, apart from that, a lot of people, even when they are asked for references, they will not give references. And I've seen that in my journey or in my connections. Please believe me, the world is very small. If you are not connecting, the opportunity is not running away. If you are capable, if you are evolving continuously, somewhere or the other, the opportunity will come to you. And then the organizers, when they discuss that, oh, we've got the connect from here, or this person has the connect, it's very easy. I mean, there are a lot of politics that people play. I think you should not be a miser. Leaders can't be misers.
Right.
And like I said,
Beautiful.
I'm a leadership student. How can you be a miser? Share the contact. What is going to happen?
Yes.
And it's always a law of karma, right? You do something good for you, good will happen with you. But I've seen people after one step they want to be insecure. They don't want to share connections, and they think that oh, इसने बहुत achieve कर लिया, अभी हो गया इसको और अभी हमें आगे बढ़ना है.
Right.
Success is never a one man show.
Mhm.
It can never be a one man show. So please don't be miser, and basic things nobody forgets. So build an authentic connection. If you do that, if that trust is built, you will be flooded with opportunities. I can't go and speak at every platform, right? But if I know you are capable enough, I know you have a bond with me, I have a bond with you. And I'm not saying the person has to build a bond, even I have to build a bond,
Yes. Yes.
right? It's a mutual thing.
Yeah, it's a mutual.
It's a mutual thing. It's a mutual friendship that has been built, right? So everywhere I cannot go, then you take up that thing, and somewhere we'll go together as well. But it has to be selfless. Networking can't be a selfish approach. And
Absolutely.
people don't realize this. People think, oh, networking means giving the visiting card or taking some contacts from them and we are sorted. It doesn't happen that way, I'm sorry. So this comes with experience, this comes with a lot of, I would say, maturity as well. You can't take your contacts for granted.
Absolutely.
And don't judge by the person's present situation or present number of followers or present financial situation also. I've seen people doing that as well. Oh, which car do you drive? Oh, which phone do you have?
Right.
If the mindset is cheap, even if they use branded things, I think the person itself is cheap. Because the mindset is, not helping the person grow. And the way the person treats the other people as well. I think that speaks volumes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you have anything to add to that, Kami, or?
She's so beautiful at explaining all this authenticity, networking, and I totally agree when she says that I give out selflessly, and I know once I am in connect with her, I have been growing. We have been growing together. So it's
She's
been
being kind.
It's been an honor and a pleasure to be with her. So everything is.
See, it's always
Yeah.
been a mutual respect with Brahmi as well. And let me tell you,
Yeah.
I thank the events that I met. I have met her in events, honestly speaking.
Yes.
So that is why I say you never know, you're building very good, touch wood, genuine connections with people. And I never thought the time that we met and today we are doing this together, it was never planned.
Yeah.
So it's always a mutual thing, right? And she's also my spiritual partner. We go on spiritual trips together. So I
Really?
think, yes. So I think I adore
Tell me
those-
more about that because I'm also quite into all of that, and I think we can talk a little bit about that
Yes,
in the
yes.
podcast.
So my mentor Radhakrishna Pillai sir always tells me that the more spiritual friends you have, the better and the faster you will grow in life.
Okay.
And in my previous, I would say, years,
Uh.
I did not have those kind of spiritual friends who would be inclined towards visiting temples or probably, experiencing meditation or mindfulness, etc.
Mhm.
Now, when I met this and our entire group, I think I was healing in a different way, which I always tell them
Uh-huh.
that there are some people in your life who will heal you in a very different manner. I'm the only non-finance creator in the entire group. The entire group is filled with all finance creators. Yet they accepted me, so I'm grateful for that.
No,
I would say.
so I would say, as I mentioned, there are no finance creators, more female finance
Yes.
creators. So when we are traveling or going for event, I am the person and I travel. So we went to Rishikesh. I went with 4 boys. So it's always like 4 boys, 5 boys, and I am single person to be enjoying with them.
Right.
So then I realized कि no. So first I used to feel कि नहीं यार लड़कियाँ आ नहीं रही है, why they are not coming and all. But then obviously there are challenges and everything.
Right.
Let's not dig into that. But then when I met her, we went on trip. I really understood that okay, I am a very small person and there is a world behind who
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And when you go, keep on learning from your mentors like her, so it's a good thing to be.
Well, I would love to be part of all of that because I myself had a very strong spiritual bent. I'm a certified yoga teacher
Wow.
with the Yoga Institute at Santa Cruz in Parle, which is the oldest yoga center in the world.
Yes,
Actually.
yes.
And I've done the 11-day Vipassana meditation. The word is eluding me for a second, which is, the Goenka, this thing. So that was something, let me tell you, 11 days, you take a vow of silence, the sexes are
Oh,
separated, you only get breakfast and lunch, no dinner, and you take a vow of silence and you meditate 11 hours a day
Right.
in 1.5 hour
Yes,
segments.
Yes, yes.
So that was something. I did that in the US, in a very beautiful part of California, which is desert area. Again, the name's eluding me. Red Rock, I think it's called. And it was life-changing. Oh my God. It was very tough. And they tell you on the first day, the 5th day is going to be the most painful. And it was correct. Like the 5th day was I was just like, why am I here? This is so horrible. And, but then, it got better. And then at the end of it, I went home, had a good night's sleep in my own bed. And then the next morning, it was just like, wow. It was, like a major health issue just vanished.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. Everyone on the planet should do that.
I think these are experiences which are priceless, and unless you don't experience them yourself, you can't go further. Talking about the spiritual trips again next month, thanks to her, the entire group is taking us, and we're going to Keshidam,
Okay.
Neem Karoli Baba Ashram.
Yes.
Yes. So I think you build such beautiful friendships where not only you're discussing work, but you're also healing each other. You're also being there for each other, irrespective of number of followers. If I think I was judged on the followers, I would have not been a part of. I would have been disqualified on day one.
Right.
But
We
that
should
was
not
never-
judge anyone
Yeah,
on the basis of
yes.
numbers or
Yes.
financial status.
Yes.
I believe more, I personally prefer such people who have humanity in them. The basic
Yes.
human thing, yes, we help, we give, everything.
I would say also, this kind of spirituality, that's what fuels you to do
More
special
thing,
thing.
right?
Steve Jobs spent a lot of time in India, did all sorts of spiritual work. I think he was also in Osho's ashram in Oregon.
Okay.
And then there was all that scandal, of course. But prior to that, he was there and he did all that. So, and I think I would definitely credit his creativity
Yes.
and all that because of his deep spiritual work
Right.
that
You know,
he did, for sure.
I
He
read-
himself says that.
Yes.
I read this very beautiful quote by Vishen Lakhiani, who's the owner or founder of Mind Valley, that entrepreneurs are spiritual warriors. and I was trying to decode this spiritual warriors, and there was a very deep meaning behind this because when you are inclined towards spirituality, you have your intellectual intelligence, you also are more mindful, you don't take impulsive decisions, and you actually understand energies.
Exactly. It gives you all these soft skills, you could say.
Yes,
Right.
yes. So I think that has helped a lot, and I'm very clear that I want to grow more spiritually even next year, and I think that also impacts your business. It also impacts the business positively, and you also discard the negative people or the negative projects by default. I think you always feel bad when something goes wrong, but I think it's the universe that is behind. God is also having a bigger role in this, and just believe. Just
Right.
believe and do your best. I think if you're consciously doing right things, you don't have to worry about anything else.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So on this related topic, Mansi, are there any books you might recommend that people read? And I think you might want to, Rami, you might want to suggest maybe some channels that people go to that would be very useful for them in their journey. Not just social media growth journey, but also just personal.
Because I spoke
Overall
about
development.
networking, I would recommend this book "Never Eat Alone" by Keith Ferrazzi,
Right.
if I'm correctly pronouncing it.
Mhm.
And there's this "The Code of the Extraordinary Mind" by Vishen Lakhiani, and also because I'm Radha Sir student 100%, I would say Corporate Chanakya to start with because that's the base. Not
Okay.
everybody might understand Arthashastra, but I think if you want to understand the dynamics of Arthashastra, Corporate Chanakya, of course. And last but not the least, one of my favorites, it is $1 Billion Secret by Rafael Badzek.
Okay, nice.
I'm a big fan of Indra Nui. Indra Nui ma'am is something I really look up to because I think in India I did not have anybody to look up to for board of director positions in terms of women. So I used to study her a lot. I used to watch her interviews. I used to read about her. And because her journey is covered in that book, I wanted to buy that book.
What was the
So-
name of the book again?
$1 Billion Secret
Brilliant Dollars.
by Rafael Badzek. And her leadership journey, how she used to treat people,
So
all that is...
he's written about her. in that
Yes,
book.
yes. They've covered approx a few personalities in that, and regarding their leadership, about their journey, what kind of
Wonderful.
personality they were, what kind of learnings even they had, and that was it. So yeah, I think you always should have good role models where you aspire to be like them, and you should study about what they've gone through. It's not an easy thing to be on board. It's a very fancy word when people hear, oh, you're a director. With power comes responsibility. You just can't be there for signing purpose, and you just can't take it for granted. You have to be relevant. And I always tell myself one thing, Mansi, everybody is waiting to replace you. So I think that keeps me going. I
Yes.
invest in my learnings. Every year I
Absolutely.
have my learning budgets, and I go to meet people, I go for networking events, and even for board of director courses, I've done all of those. Because like I said, I want to be so capable enough. And there's a quote as well that if you want to be irreplaceable, you have to be different. How do you be different? You have to upgrade yourself, you have to have good network, and you have to be relevant. So if I'm relevant today, I'll have more board positions which I aspire to be on different boards as well. But if I just say, I have my 10 years experience, it's the same thing, I've given results, I'm sorry, I'll be replaceable very easily.
Absolutely. Anything, books or channels or anything?
Okay, so I am a person who don't watch much of YouTube. Neither am a avid reader. So I won't suggest anything. But I would exactly mention, as she said, having a right role model is very important, so that you understand and you grow in a certain way. Because see, if we are driving and we don't know the destination, we will go any which ways. कहाँ पे भी चले जाएंगे and we can end up anywhere. But if you know where to go, how to build yourself, how to build your life, how to build your channel, and what's or not, so then you are very much at right roadmap and right path. So knowing that and being very mindful of each of your step is very important in your life.
Cool, cool. If even though I'm the host, I'll throw in a little something in.
Yes, please.
Yes, why not?
I've learned a lot from fictional books. Like now these are quality books, not some trash novel or something. So there's all these kind of books written by the giants and all of that, and corporate leaders and whatnot, and those are great, of course. But I for part of this YouTube channel of mine, I once with my very first podcast with Nishant Mittal, we talked about the books we learned, and I almost did a video on my top 10 books,
Oh, wow.
which are my fictional books. But then I was advised, no, it will go against the channel, so don't post it. So I didn't. But I made the video, like I recorded it. So one thing I would say is James Clavell.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard of it. All his novels are insanely good. Shogun, which just now won all the Emmy awards, is based on his
Oh.
500-page novel.
Okay.
James Clavell is required reading. In my top 10, number 2 is one of his books called Taipan, which Taipan is your title. If you're in Hong Kong, if you're the richest man in Hong Kong, you aren't called by your name. You're called Taipan.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone will call you Taipan if you're the richest man in Hong Kong. So that's the richest man in Hong Kong about 150 years ago during the Opium Wars. Amazing book, incredible. And you learn so much. It's not like a textbook, but just following the hero and his journey and the villain and all that stuff. How he's handling the business, this, that. I mean, it's just, you learn. And it's a fun way to learn because you're also being entertained.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think different books have different impact in your life, and it's okay to read fiction books if that's helping you evolve your thinking or your perceptions. I think it's good.
Right. Have you seen that Shogun TV show? The serial. It's only, I think, 8 episodes.
I don't watch TV.
I don't.
No, but the reason I bring it up, you're talking about soft skills.
Yes.
Amazing. Basically the top character is the female heroine called Mariko. And what's amazing in that, and they captured it so beautifully. She won the Emmy, Anna Sawai. How she interprets. So she's an interpreter. She happens to know Portuguese and Japanese. She's Japanese and she knows Portuguese from the Portuguese monk, priests that are there, that are trying to convert everyone to Christianity. And the hero is English guy, but he speaks Portuguese also. So they translate from Portuguese to Japanese. And what's amazing about her and the way they showed that was how she, the shogun, the feudal lord would say, tell this European barbarian this. And then she'd listen and then she'd translate it very, very correct, politely. And then he would say, tell this Japanese what XYZ, this. And then she'd translate it very, very smoothly and politely. So she wouldn't let them argue and she'd take out the insults in the translation and the way she did it and the way they captured it was beautiful. So that was just a masterclass on soft skills. So my point is you can learn a lot from entertainment if it's done properly.
Yes.
Like quality entertainment can teach you a lot also. It doesn't have to be, just a formal.
And you also learn how do you deal with masculine and feminine energies, how do you deal with them in such situations. So
Yes, that was exactly a masterclass in that. The way
Yes.
she handled everything. She was basically the hero of the entire show. So, and that, also to me is the example of how a woman can navigate. Because she basically, at the end she achieved everything she wanted.
Yes.
But she did it so elegantly, like a lady. That was instead of fighting and becoming a
I think
masculine.
that is what is called real grace.
Yeah.
Because when you do
I
things
was
gracefully,
just
Right.
using that. Being graceful is very much.
Wonderful. So one last thing, let's this thing with this. It's tough to predict the future, obviously, but what do you think social media is evolving towards? What can we expect in 2025? How should I plan for 2025 or a year from now? What
more
how should I-
episodes of podcast.
Okay.
Podcast, in my perspective, is going to grow massive.
Okay.
And also, please put more of your podcast clips on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So founders, CEOs, all will benefit from that.
So the shorts.
Yes.
in-
Shorts and even the clips.
But the clips will be very long, right? Can
3
you?
minutes.
No,
2 minutes
minute.
max.
So that's what I'm calling
Yeah.
the short.
Yes, yes.
Shorts and even the YouTube format clip also would work. As long as it's value adding. Like I am not putting shorts right now for the podcast that I'm co-hosting. We are putting YouTube format video only and it's working. So that's what my experience says. But podcast is going to grow massive. And now is the right time for all the founders, directors, or board members to build their personal brand. And I'm saying this on your podcast. If you're not trying to put the seed, after a year or two, you're going to regret it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
still
yeah.
there is time. We can
So-
still work on it.
Would you agree that it's just going to grow more?
Massive.
Yes.
And it's going to be more important. Like like right now, I would say my resume is no longer the piece of paper that I hand over
Yes.
during an interview.
Yes.
My resume now is my YouTube channel, my LinkedIn channel, my
100%.
all
Yes.
that. And if
Yes.
I'm going to get a job, I'll get a job because of those, not because of my piece of
yes,
paper,
yes,
right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So it's going to get more like that.
Yes. Multitask, multi-channels. That's the thing.
But
Multi-social.
keep adding values. What I would say, don't make people feel bad from your content. People should learn at least one new thing every day. If possible, at least they should look up to you with genuine respect and not just because of whatever you're posting, but they know that they can trust you,
Trust.
even online, even offline.
Yes.
I think
What you
that's
said
a-
earlier, their character.
Yes.
Yeah. Build genuine connections.
Yes. I read a
And
very
loyal followers.
Yes, I read a very good quote on. I find very good quotes on Instagram. While scrolling, there was a very good quote which says that to be trusted is a better compliment than being loved.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I
I,
agree.
think if somebody's trusting you, I think you've won.
Love is a volatile thing.
Yeah. Love fades with time, but
Yeah.
Trust cannot be
Right.
faded.
It should amplify.
It can only be broken
If you do something wrong.
Yes.
You know what? That brought me to an interesting question, and I would love this. I'm sure our viewers would love this too. Which is, what are your favorite channels in each of these? So, Insta, you said you go and you see these quotes. What were your favorite people on Insta?
No
Let's all.
favoritism. No favoritism.
I also don't have any favoritism. I
No, I mean-
actually don't watch
There are
much.
many which pop up in the feed. So I
Yes.
save them. I take a screenshot if
Okay.
I like it, and
It's randomly, so something you're posting valuable, we just
Okay.
save it. So that's it.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, I some channels that I just go to, like for example, in YouTube, the Study IQ
yes,
with Prashant Dhawan.
yes.
Wonderful one for very quickly explaining all the geopolitics. Abhijit Chawda and Abhijit Iyer Mitra, also incredible. The amount of info those two have packed in their heads, I usually get complimented for that, but they make me look bad. So I get a lot of good value from these kind of channels. So I was just wondering if there's something like
No,
that.
so I would add, I don't have anyone whom I follow as such loyal follow on Instagram or YouTube,
Huh.
but I have it in person. So people like Mansi, people who are in my team, they are constantly motivating, making me more disciplined. Although I'm a very disciplined person, but constantly motivating, constantly building me together, and having a sense of belonging amongst your
Right.
own team, and knowing कि यहाँ पे competition नहीं हो रहा है, यहाँ पे collaborations हो रहा है.
Correct.
Right.
So that's the whole point. So I'm learning a lot from team I have, the people I'm living with, and I'm blessed to have.
Well, it's just the paradigm shift that's going on. For example, 20, 30 years ago, you sat and watched the news and
Right.
Now I never do that. I get it all from all these guys.
YouTube.
And what the beauty of this is, they not only do they tell me like such and such happened, like Trump said this or Putin said this, but then they first they give the whole background. Okay, the history of this is this, and then okay, this is the deeper meaning. If he's saying this, that means he's probably
Mhm.
going to do this, and that. So the paradigm's completely shifted from sitting and watching the TV and this thing. Now I'm getting almost like a professor explaining the whole thing to me.
Yes.
So, and I think that's just going to keep getting more and more.
Absolutely. I think because the access to education and the way we have social media and all now, I think the more mindful you are by using it, you can always impact a lot of lives.
Absolutely, yeah. Change people's lives.
Yes.
All right, well, we are running out of time here. Was there any final words, any final bits of advice you have for our viewers, people who are wanting to grow their channel, or maybe even entrepreneurs who are launching a startup? Just anything?
Like I said, now is the correct time. If you've not started your personal branding, please
Yes.
start sowing seeds. You will get massive opportunities, and please, do lot of networking. If you are just going to sit at home, it's not going to work. You have to meet people. You have to understand perceptions, and like she correctly says, it's about collaboration. Do not be insecure. Do not be a miser. Specifically when you are in a leadership role, like I said, leaders can't be misers, right? So work in collaboration, and you will be impacting many lives.
Absolutely.
I would like to add that be mindful of what you are doing, but don't be afraid of taking all the opportunities that are knocking your door. So don't just be कि okay यार ये नहीं तो वो कर लेंगे. No, don't do. you can do everything, but just be mindful that that is not something illegal or unethical. So when you are mindful, you can do multiple things at a time and you can grow yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me.
Thank
It
you for
was a-
Thank
inviting
you
us.
so
It was
much
an honor.
for hosting us and inviting us.
It was a very wonderful session where we got a lot of information, a lot of insights. Viewers, you'll find the description of both Mansi and Brahmi down in the description of this video. Also, please make comments and let's have a discussion around all of this. As Mansi said, don't be miserly on that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again at the next podcast.
And please like, share, and subscribe to Mr. Vivek Srivastava's channel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.